Welcome back to our discussion of essay writing. In this video, we will focus on writing effective introductions and conclusions. Introductions and conclusions are the first and last impressions made by your essay. Much like in real life, you always want to leave a good first and last impression. But how? People say, all beginnings are hard. Do you agree? Some may think a good conclusion is simply the place where you got tired of thinking. Do you believe it is possible to produce a good piece of writing without giving much thinking to the conclusion? Actually, we can safely say nearly all experienced writers would agree that introductions and conclusions play a special role in essays, and they frequently demand much of your attention as a writer. Let's consider how to write the introduction first. The introduction paragraph usually starts from something broad and it narrows down gradually. So generally speaking, we can use this triangle to show the structure of the introduction. The first few sentences are usually something that tries to get the attention of the reader, which is called a hook or the attention grabber. Having gained your reader's attention, you should lead the reader to the next stage of your introduction, which provides background information and continues to narrow the topic down until you come to the thesis statement you want to make, which is the main idea or the main point of your essay. Now, let's consider some important elements in introduction writing. Just now, we mentioned the hook. The hook attracts and engages the reader, but it does not argue or explain anything. And always remember, the hook should not only be engaging and interesting, but also always closely related to the point you want to make. Here is the first few sentences in a Scientific American online article entitled "The False Promise of Fish Oil Supplements" by R. Preston Mason on August 22, 2019. Without doubt, with the startling facts and statistics, the reader's attention is immediately grabbed, and the reader would like to read more. Here are the most frequently used 5 ways to grab the attention of the reader. First, use a quotation or sayings of famous people. Second, ask a question that will be answered by your essay or will catch the reader's attention and lead toward your thesis topic. Third, tell an anecdote or a surprising fact or statistic. Next, describe a problem, dilemma, or controversy associated with your essay. And last, challenge a statement of opinion. In the quiz part of this lecture, you will find more examples of good hooks. Many writers give a thesis statement at the end of the introduction. A thesis statement is the sentence that states the main idea of the essay and helps control the ideas within the paper. It's not merely a topic. It often reflects an opinion or judgment that a writer has made about a reading or personal experience. A strong thesis statement usually is a roadmap for the essay. In other words, it tells the reader what to expect from the rest of the essay. Here are 2 examples of a thesis statement. Number 1, we should wear school uniforms because they would help reduce the need for disciplinary measures, be cheaper than other clothing, and help create school pride. Number 2, C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia series is one of the richest works of the 20th century because it offers an escape from reality teaches readers to have faith even when they don't understand, and contains a host of vibrant characters. It's not easy to write an introduction, but you should know you do not have to start writing from the introduction part. Actually, many successful writers choose not to start the writing by writing about the introduction. Writing about the conclusion is not easy either. Many students do not know what to put in the conclusion, since it seems all the things have been mentioned and all the words have been said. Again, we can use a triangle to show the general structure of the conclusion. This triangle looks as if it reverts the previous triangle in introduction part because it starts from something narrow or specific and goes broader gradually. Usually in an effective conclusion, the writer introduces the end of the essay and restates the thesis first, using different words and expressions. A good conclusion draws together the points which readers just read and are fresh in their minds. And with the main points being restated, the writer usually links the main points to some larger context, and finally tries to leave the reader with something to think about, which can be a question, a resonating fact, or statistic, or an action, etc. There are also a few do's and don'ts for a conclusion. A conclusion should stress the importance of this thesis statement, give the essay a sense of completeness, and have a final impression on the reader. A conclusion should not repeat the introduction, be just a summary of the body paragraphs, or be the place to add new content or new arguments. Now, let's analyze some introduction and conclusion samples. First, read and analyze the following paragraphs about writing a good hook. Mark the attention grabber, the background information, and the thesis statement. The writer tries to get the attention of the reader by using a rhetorical question first, then provides some background information, narrowing down the topic. Finally, the writer clearly airs his or her opinion in the final thesis statement sentence. Here is a sample conclusion paragraph. Read the paragraph, analyze its structure, and label each part of the paragraph. After reading the paragraph carefully, you may have found out how was the paragraph structured. The first sentence restates the thesis or the main idea of the essay, and the last sentence leaves the reader to think further. The rest of the paragraph reviews the main points. Writing the introduction and conclusion always demands your special effort. But with this lecture, you have probably found that they do not present by any means any impossible mission. With these guiding principles in mind, you should read more, paying attention to how successful writers write the introductions and conclusions. You can practice writing your own introductions and conclusions by imitating what you've learned from other writers. Gradually, you will not need to rack your brain when it comes to effective introduction and conclusion writings. That's all for now. We can now move on to our third lecture.